In the US, there's 8 to 10 million SMBs and nonprofits who are using video on their website. And that's fantastic because it's a much richer experience. They're driving more viewers. But the challenge is how do they correlate taking those views and turning them into actioners? We say turning viewers into action takers. Because what's happening is people come to their website, they watch the video, but then what? And really, when you think about the distributed world we have now, where it's not just about your website, it's about social media, it's about mobile, then we start distributing that video. So someone comes, now let's take a similar scenario. Someone comes, you post on your Facebook page, you got a lot of likes, a lot of people are watching that, it gets somewhat viral even. People watch the video, but then what? The whole point of the video creation and spending your time and your effort creating a video is to drive action. And that's where Viewbix comes in. Viewbix is a very simple self-service platform that allows you to create and take your existing videos and under 3 minutes turn them into actionable videos, meaning that you can add interactive apps, you can add calls to actions. So think about you have the ability now to take your existing video, add third-party mail systems like MailChimp, Aweber, iContact, and allow people to sign up for your newsletter directly from your video. Whether that's on your website, your blog, your Facebook page, viewed on a mobile device, Android, Apple, whatever. The idea is that you can actually draw, people who are watching the video can take action. They can purchase your product, they can view, they can join your newsletter, they can follow you on social networks, Facebook, Twitter, etc. And really we've created a much powerful solution that allows people to then take videos and make them interactive. What we've seen, and we provided a detailed analytics package as well, where you can see how many of your videos are being viewed, you can see which social networks people are sharing it on, you can see which actions are being taken, which apps are being used, and what we've seen is unbelievable interaction rates. We're seeing on average, and again across the board, that when someone starts watching a video in a Viewbix player, more than 20% of the viewers are taking some type of action. When you compare that to the way video is being used today, it's very hard to get any action. One, it's not necessarily measurable because there's no calls to action or apps in the player. And two, what we're seeing is that someone starts watching that video, there's 20% likelihood or more that someone's going to follow you on Facebook or Twitter. They're going to fill out your newsletter to sign up. They're going to get more information about your product or service. They're going to purchase that product or service. And when that gets viral in terms of sharing it on Facebook or Twitter, you have the ability then to take those users and be able to take them and turn them from viewers into action takers. And what's interesting, and even for us, it's been remarkable, is we're seeing so many different verticals that are using it. And it's really quite surprising because verticals are using it for different ways. So for example, we have a ton of real estate brokers who are using it. So they're using apps like Google Maps so I can see where the property is listing. They're using Skype to call them. RSS feeds so you can get updates on their properties, right? Newsletter subscription. So think about a real estate agent, they have a video of the home. Now, it's not just about watching the home video of that specific property. You can get the weather app to see what the weather's like in that neighborhood. You can find Google Maps to zoom in and find out exactly where it's located. You can subscribe to that person's Facebook page or Twitter feed and be able to then really make a connection to that broker. So the brokers love it. And if you're in the idea of buying a property or selling a property, it makes that experience that much more powerful. We have other companies who are using it, for example, services companies, people who are renting hotels, cabins, things like that, to be able to give you more information about the property. We have, as you mentioned, educational sites where people who are using it to add collateral, so you can add your SlideShare presentation together with your video to drive more engagement. One area that we're particularly have a ton of traction is the nonprofit world, where nonprofits are using it for donations, for newsletters, sign-ups, things like that. So it's really amazing that we don't necessarily target a specific vertical. And I keep going on musicians and bands. We have the ability to have sample music. And so we don't target specific verticals. And really what we're seeing is that there's a real applicability, that there's only 2 criteria. You have a video and you want your viewers to be able to further engage with that video, whatever that might be. So for a musician or a band, it might be buying that album, it might be finding where they're playing, coming to their next show. And for nonprofits, it might be donation. For real estate brokers, it might be selling a property, right? For services companies to purchase that service, education in terms of more interactions. So it really, as long as you meet those 2 criteria in terms of you have a video and you want to drive some type of action or engagement, we're seeing so many different verticals that are taking advantage of the Viewbix platform. You've seen things, and we've seen numbers in terms of click-through rates of 1% or 2% or 5%. We're talking about 20+%. So it's not even in the same ballpark in terms of from a comparative perspective. And the reason is, and we've seen this, and it makes logical sense, is that when you're in the viewing window, right, you're more likely to take some type of action. Now, let's think about just in your normal Facebook usage, as an example. And that's true on-site or off-site, but in Facebook, when it comes across your feed, you see a little play button, you see some text next to it, nobody reads the text. We see that play button, we click on that video, and then we never really engage with the text because we finish watching the video, we're on to the next thing. But what we're doing is adding the apps and the call to action and the information into the viewing window, so we have a much higher likelihood of taking action because more often than not, people don't even see that there's some type of other information, right? And that's true on your website. I mean, for us, even on-site, it's a huge issue where you're spending a lot of money in SEO to drive people to your website, right? The worst thing in the world is to have them leave your website to get more information, right? If they click on it and go back to YouTube, for example, and they are watching other videos, chances are you lost that user. If they want more information about where that specific information is located, Google Maps or weather or other information, they need to leave your website to get that information or switch pages or go somewhere else, navigate. By keeping that experience together with the video, it makes sense, right? And more importantly, it doesn't just make sense, we have the empirical data behind it that shows that it's just so much richer experience and much more effective than putting links around it or calls to action somewhere else on the page itself.